Bingo!
We like games here. You do too, because you wouldn't be here with us. Here at Hack the Dino. If you also like Hack the Dino, you should subscribe to Hack the Dino on all the things like Facebook and YouTube and Twitch. But we're going to talk about games that we like to play with reviews. Not so much the reviews, but Dan, what games have you been liking?
Smooth as anything.
I have been playing, so this week I've been playing Carrion, which I was really looking forward to, which is I'm going to read out here. It's by Phobia Games. They did, do you remember they did did you play Butcher?
No.
So it's just a really cool kind of really, really hard violent game. Anyway, they brought this one out and I've got a little paragraph here explaining it. Now, I'm really bad at reading online.
Do you want me to read it, Dan?
Yes. Can you read this for me, Braden?
Reverse horror game in which you assume the role of an amorphous creature of unknown origin. Stalk and consume those that are imprisoned. Grow and evolve as you tear down this prison and acquire more and more devastating abilities on the path to retribution.
What the hell was that?
When did you become voiceover man?
Yeah, I know. Voice actor. So yeah, you reverse horror. You play the monster that is in a laboratory that breaks out. This game is awesome. It's pixel. It never outstays its welcome. So it is the perfect length for what you want. So it's around about 6 hours, 5 hours, and that's all you need out of this game. And it's beautiful. First thing I noticed straight away is how smooth you move and how fluid everything works. So basically you just press in any direction and your body just lashes out these tendrils and pulls you along so smooth. And it's like got these sounds like, and you just feel like this horrible, like aggressive thing. And the more and more you upgrade, you get different abilities. And as you upgrade, you kind of actually feel terrified on how unstoppable you are. Like on how you're like, yeah, if like this thing was real, we would just all die. So you got the ability to upgrade, as I said. So you can get stuff like camouflage, like like the Predator thing. You get mind control, which is disgusting. Like you wedge a tentacle into someone's back of their neck, and you can control them for a while. You can swim later on. You can smash stuff. You get tentacles that can grab onto different things and stuff like that. It starts off like. And as the more people you eat, the bigger you kind of get. And he's got spikes there. I haven't even seen that. And you've got kind of 3 levels of bigness you can get to, and each time you get to a different level,
Story of my life.
Yeah, you get different abilities. But sometimes you'll get to a point where you're like, oh, I need that ability I used to have. So you have to like downgrade yourself by dropping your biomass off.
Story of my life.
Dropping your biomass off. I know, I leave my biomass everywhere. But yeah, great, beautiful soundtrack. And there's bits where it
Floppy, breathe, man.
We've lost him. There are bits where you like, he's out. He's lost it.
I broke Floppy.
He's vomiting. Everyone should have a go at this game. It's on everything at the moment. It's free on Games Pass. So if you want that, you actually play bits as well where you go back in time and you play humans. And when you're moving as the humans, it's very like what's the other one? Another World? Flashback.
Mm-hmm.
Like very flashback. I can see him here. He's like controlling a dude and like, he comes in and smashes up.
Story of my life.
Such a sad controlling dudes, smashing dudes up.
No, coming in.
Oh, come on, mate.
Yeah, that's
so it's kind of a Metroidvania game where you start like kind of in the middle of this center, and your goal is to basically fuck shit up.
Story of my life, yeah.
You've been wronged, you've been imprisoned, you're this angry thing, and it's just a great game. Everyone should check it out, even for a couple of minutes. Like it's such the flowiness and the. Oh, so cool.
I just before you continue on, that's one thing I wanted to bring up with you. How does it move? Because you said you only move with the controllers, and it does look very, very flowy.
Yeah, basically. So if you're like him right there now, if he was, he's doing something different now. Basically, if I just press up, tendrils will just instantly go out and pull me up. Like it just, you can go in any direction.
So it's very intuitive. Like
yeah, like it works perfectly. Like it's a real achievement on how well it works. Like. And like when you're bigger, you move heavier and stuff as well, and you have more. And it's just.
Does that change? Like as you get big, so obviously I'm assuming when you're small, you're a lot faster.
Yeah.
But as you gain mass,
biomass.
Do they become more sluggish, or is it harder to control?
It comes a little bit slower, but you can see you take up more room, so you've got more opportunity for things to hit you.
Mm-hmm.
And you've got a little tendril you can grab stuff as well. So you can grab a person and just shake them around until their guts falls out and their head falls off, and you also you get bigger by eating people. So you grab them and pull them into your body, and mouths just come out and start eating them, and it's just like. And then there's dudes with flamethrowers you have to get from behind.
Story of your life.
Yeah,
Story of my life.
getting dudes with flamethrowers.
No, I was talking about the eating and getting bigger.
Getting behind. Doesn't matter. Anyway, great game. It's called Carrion. I have no idea why it's called Carrion.
Because a carrion is a disease.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I didn't get that bit. You get to save points where you drop off your biomass, a bit of yourself. So when you do die, right? When you do die and you get destroyed, you recreate yourself out of these biomass. And it makes sense. Like, you are dropping yourself off, bits of you.
At the pool.
Yeah. And I'm just going to stop it now because Ben's got too much innuendo happening now and it's giving me an erection.
I'm going to cry.
Ben, what have you been playing?
Well.
Story of my life.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh.
Now, we've all been playing this, so I'm going to open it up to everyone here because we've all been playing this fantastic game. I'm going to say it right here and now. This is my game of the year.
Yeah, I was all about. I mean, I'm still about Doom Eternal, but I was all about. Obviously, Last of Us 2 is going to win. No, I don't think it will now.
No.
No, not at all.
So this game, as you've heard everywhere, is stunningly
A horse
beautiful.
simulator.
Like, it is gorgeous. It is really basic battle mechanics. Without going too in depth, you can change your stances as you go along and upgrade your stances. I've found that the water stance is really working well for me.
Is that the second one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can just sort of boom, Carrion is a dead animal. Yeah, that's what I said.
Carrion. No, you didn't.
That was disease.
Thank you, Adam.
So, yeah, as I was saying, you've got really awesome battle features. It's basically Breath of the Wild in Samurai World. You can just go wandering. For example, we've had this for 2 weeks, and all I've done is just wander around. I've done the first stages of the critical path, but have also just been wandering around, going to villages, defeating the Mongols, and then carrying on to the next place and just seeing what I can find. What I really freaking adore is the haikus. When you find a haiku spot and you sit down and compose a haiku,
I don't think I've done that.
Oh,
I've done it
man,
once.
it is so good.
My
Is that
favorite
one of
is
the-
cutting the bamboo.
Yeah,
Oh, I
to
love
test the
cutting the
strength.
bamboo. I love cutting the bamboo.
You can find different attire, which gives you different things. So the traveler's attire, which you gain, you can use to seek out hidden scrolls and other collectibles. You got the samurai armor, which starts off broken, but then obviously you get new samurai armor.
I straight away went straight and got the Straw Hat dudes because I wanted to look like the guy from Ninja Scroll.
Yeah, and what's best is you can be going around in your traveler's attire, which isn't really good for fighting, and press start, immediately change.
Yeah.
Now, how you play as well, you can see on the screen here is doing assassinations, where it's just
remember that
jumping
mission.
down and assassinating people without being seen. This is more of the ghost characteristic. Or you can also be the samurai, where you meet them head on. And
There isn't. You never are the ghost, and you're never a samurai. You're just a dude with skills.
Yeah.
and
But they kind of go, well, that's kind of a
because you're going against the samurai Budo spirit, which is like you face your opponent head on, face to face,
Which you
and
can do.
You battle them, which you can do, or you can, because desperate time, desperate measures, you sneak up and assassinate them one by one. Me being the martial arts fan that I am, I can't do assassinations. I have to face them head on.
I will always do an assassination if it's an above assassination. We can do it down like he was
Yeah, like
showing
you
before.
assassinate.
Because I can't resist it. 'Cause it's so cool.
Yeah.
No,
So-
I just play it however. Like, sometimes I'll be going along because there's actual, like, you do the samurai standoffs. You actually can do that as a thing. So you can walk up to a bunch of dudes and do standoff and yell, go, "Oi, face me, you wanker!"
Do you know what's even better?
Like that.
So I mentioned before, last time we were on, that I was a bit taken back because I put Japanese language on with English
Yeah.
subtitles and they didn't match the lip syncing. I'd like to say now that after playing probably 15, 20 hours of it, not a problem.
There you
Because
go.
you're too busy reading the subtitles, you don't notice it. And
Like
the voice
anime.
acting is so good that it doesn't even matter. Now, I came up against, just the other day, I was telling Floppy about this before the show. Dan mentioned it just before, where you can walk up and as you see an enemy, you can press up on the D-pad and it announces standoff, where you say, come out and face me. And then there's a one-on-one thing where they rush you and you slice your sword and do a one-hit kill if you get the timing right. I was infiltrating a Mongol camp the other day with like 7 dudes, and sometimes with the camps, sometimes when you come up to the camps, they give you like little mini tasks to complete. So it's like kill all the guards without
optional extras.
Yeah, having to replenish your health.
Yeah, I get sucked in and try
Challenges.
them.
Yeah,
me
so
too.
when I went, you know what, I'm going to try and be the ghost, try and do an assassination because I was doing the standoff thing. So I went in over the top and found the head guy,
Dude.
the head dude.
Story of my life.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say that. I was trying to bypass it. Story of your life as well. And he was practicing his spear techniques. Now, one of the things that you can do in order to get double XP, which builds up your overall samurai level, is if you observe them and then defeat them, you get double the points.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So I observed him for a while and then thought, all right, enough of this, and slaughtered him. So I killed 1 guy out of 7. And then I was sort of just sneaking through the camp trying to find these guys, and I couldn't find them, no idea where they were. And it got to a point where I went into the middle of the camp and a new option came up on the D-pad, which was the right trigger. And it just said challenge. So I pressed that, and it was a completely new animation where he stood there, put his hand on his sword, and yelled out in Japanese, "Face me, you cowards!" And then the rest of them all came out all at once, and as they came out, he just drew his sword and said something else like, "Come on." And then you just take them all on at once. And I thought,
pretty cool.
wow, I had no idea that was there, and it just came up out of nowhere.
There are some really great things in this
I really
game.
like-
I'm going to have a go. Number one, there are... Sorry, Floppy. There are times... Okay, Floppy, go.
Can't remember what I was
No,
going
what I want to say is...
I really liked at the start. I was going back to something that you talked about before, about how you can act as the samurai, take them on face to face, or sort of the ninja style. I really like the fact that he's very conflicted about that at the start when he's sort of learning the ways, and you see him in these little cutscenes and
because
stories.
Unworthy, it's unruth, it's uncouth, it's a thief.
He's been raised to that. That's not how you do things. That's how scum do that. It's not a
face
there's
your
no
death.
honor in that. And so to learn to do that, and then for you to do it and have to do it in some missions, I thought was really cool.
Do you know what's even cooler? It's
that?
just come out recently. If you do more ghost type assassination kills than you do Budo samurai honorable kills, the weather changes and you get more thunderstorms and more rain. If you
to
have
cover yourself up and stuff.
well, that and the weather changes depending on how you play it. Speaking of that, I did a side quest, learning one of the moves. Where
The blue quests.
one of the blue side quests, which aren't optional, but you get different moves and everything.
Yeah.
And it ended with me sort of tracking this dishonorable samurai who'd sort of switched sides and was trying to find this mystical technique in order to make himself more appealing to the Mongols. And you come up to him, and as you're finding out where he is, you're headed towards a dueling ground, and rain and thunder start, and you go up there and you find the old master who's been killed because this new guy's learnt the new technique and he used it on the master.
Oh, I
and
did
he
that
comes
one.
out
The thunder strike.
the heavenly strike.
Heavenly strike, yeah.
And you're in this duel, and there's a massive thunderstorm going on, and it's spanning, and just this epic, holy crap moment. I'm thinking, this is sweet.
And it's a side mission.
Yeah, and it's a side mission, so I can't wait to get... I'm still on Act 1. Like, I haven't got off the first part of the island. Now, a couple of things that I go, because it's not a perfect game. There are some glitches. There's been jump glitches that I've crashed into. Like, you jump up in a rock that you're not supposed to go up, and sometimes you get stuck
Oh, I had that.
and jumps up and down.
Oh, I haven't seen that yet.
So that's a bit disappointing. I don't like that they had to go back to the old look for the bird poo ledges. I know they're not bird poo, but to me it reminds me
I
of
don't
bird
mind
poo.
that. I have no problem
Well,
with
I mean,
that.
I'm coming from Breath of the Wild where you can just climb everything.
Yeah.
So that for me is the way forward, and it's just unfortunate that they couldn't do this because you're sort of like on a ledge and you can't go down because it's got a thing where you have to physically press the jump button to jump off the edge because the fall damage you take in this game is ridiculous.
Yeah, I tried to do that.
You can
when I
kill
was like-
50 Mongols, but if you trip and fall over a side, look out.
You can get an upgrade that lets you fall heaps far.
Well, you can also roll towards the end as well. But my point being, you sort of standing on a ledge and you can't go off. But if you walk down like 3 meters, then you
Yeah.
can just go off the other side. And that to me, you're this big samurai.
Look, I don't mind that because that comes back to the whole me sort of looking for it to be led on a little bit of a thing. So having too open an idea of what I might spend heaps of time in Breath of the Wild climbing something to get to the top to realise there's nothing there.
Just one thing before you go there, Dan. Then I'll let you have the floor. One thing I also liked, I recently came upon this place where, as I was entering, it was like a bigger camp, and the game straight up just told me, no, you're going to get messed up if you go in here.
I love that.
These guys outnumber you. You will get messed up.
Go away.
They said be careful.
Oh.
And I climbed up and had a look down, and sure enough, there were like 50 or so guys in there, and it was, I'll come back later when I've upgraded my armor and whatnot. But overall, I really love this game. I'm going to keep on playing this game. I probably won't pick up another big game this year. I'm going to wait a little bit longer for Cyberpunk.
Wow.
I'll probably get it PS5.
I'm going to get Fast and Furious Crossroads. Ooh,
yeah, I know. Oh, it's a big call.
Well, maybe.
I might get something from Nintendo if they decide to release anything else this year. But Ghost of Tsushima, my game of the year. Dan, what did you think?
So everyone knows I'm a massive texture stickler.
Texture.
Texture
Loves
stickler.
good
I love my textures. This game's textures are on it.
Yeah.
Also, I've noticed there's a lot of particle effects happening constantly in this game. So at any time, at certain times of the day, at certain areas in the map, it looks unbelievably good. You are running up through it at nighttime with the moonlight shining down through a bamboo forest. There's also mist. All the light is shining your particle effects through the mist. Everything's moving. And also in this game, which the first time I've ever seen it ever done, is every leaf and cherry blossom and everything is blowing around. But it's also, as you can follow a cherry blossom all the way down and you actually see it land on the ground and it stays there.
That's pretty cool.
And it's constant and it's flawless. And you can be running through some leaves on the ground and they'll blow up, and you actually see them blow up and they actually go back down and actually land back on the ground. They're not just a particle effect that goes through the ground, like it's kind of thing. It's crazy.
This is to do with the whole guidance system as well. Like it's said at the start that your father is the wind. And it'll guide you. And that was the mechanic that they've used in order to get you to where you need to go. The wind blows you in the direction that you need to go in so you don't get lost. And I think that's such a cool mechanism to use.
I was worried at first with the lack of, say, like mini-map or the lack of the HUD. I really like it.
It's heaps good, isn't it? Yeah. I got blown away the day I realised that if you swipe right really quickly, you get your blood off your sword.
Yep.
And I didn't know that for so long, and I did it accidentally because I was like,
I didn't know that
you
yet.
can really.
Do you know you can bow?
Yeah, you press down or whatever.
Yeah, but you press down and you bow to some statues, and I think there's one where a little frog pops out after you bow to it and pay respect. One thing I think is a bit off-putting, Tsushima is a very small island when you look at Japan.
That's not fine.
The first island that you're on is even smaller than that. Somehow you've got 4 seasons happening on the one island. Like you go to an area where there's cherry blossoms.
Oddity.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's why this game is good, because it's not holding itself to reality like all these other games that are like Red Dead, like Grand Theft Auto. You don't have to send your mum an email. You don't have to wash your legs and arms separately in this game. You're just like, you remember you actually did send your mum emails in Grand Theft.
Yeah.
Like this game takes all the elements of an open world game, takes out all the stuff that's boring, and just leaves you with the core fun stuff.
Yep.
And there's nothing grindy in this as well, because if this is like you seem to like, oh, I want to get this, new ability. All you have to do is do a mission and you get it.
Yeah.
There's no like grinding. Oh, your player's not at a high enough level to get this at the moment. It's just you acquire stuff. It feels really easy, and you feel like you're always progressing and growing, but you never become OP. It's wicked. Right?
And the missions aren't that hard. And they're not that long. There's maybe 3 or 4 steps.
But you can die really easily if you just go in like a turkey.
Yeah.
So what I was hoping for before this came out, and what it's been confirmed for me now, is this is the Assassin's Creed that I wanted before the last 2.
Mm-hmm.
This is to me like an older school Assassin's Creed game, like the Ezio games,
but it's not as much about the climbing. You can climb, but it's not just climbing.
But not just climbing. But it's that style of gameplay, that style of storytelling, that style of combat in a setting that I've wanted in Assassin's Creed for so long.
I think the fact that this looks so beautiful, and yes, they do put the 4 seasons on one small little island, basically to show off how beautiful it is and how fantastic this whole area is, and possibly the most important part, you can pat the little fox guys.
I think another important part is that you can pick items up.
You're supposed to follow them.
The Inaris?
Yeah, you follow them. They take you to a temple. You pay respect to the temple, and they sit by your side. And then afterwards, you turn around.
Shooting them with arrows.
That might be the issue.
Get the hell off my podcast.
I didn't know what they were.
What about the
I thought
birds? Have you followed the birds?
I mean, it didn't let me shoot
you
them.
follow
I kept
birds?
trying to. No, I don't follow anything.
The
bir-
birds
the-
are your mum.
The
Oh.
birds, if you follow the birds, they take you to items and stuff. And,
Like the haiku spots and where you're supposed to go.
and,
I
like,
kept
and
finding
have you
them-
found hot springs? They're the best.
Yeah.
You get to see them naked.
That's
and you get
Japan's
to,
ass.
You get to reflect. Yeah, that's like Captain America.
Might be
that's
doing that
Japan.
when I get home.
Did you see the reaction comment? The actor who played Jin in the game.
I was actually disappointed.
There's a video of him watching that and him going into the hot spring, being naked, and
Yeah.
you see his butt, and he's watching it, he goes, "Oh yeah!"
It cuts out the exact pixel before you can see his wang. Like, and I was like, kind of wanted to see.
disappointed were
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see the wang. I'm an advocate of wang in game.
Were you about to say Wang on Wang?
That's called interlock.
Wang Chun.
Wang Chung.
Yeah. So overall, this game is brilliant. Like it's everything I wanted in like a samurai game. Finally, it's things I've wanted ever since I was a kid.
It feels really realistic, but also really video gamey.
Yeah.
It feels really
Yeah.
traditional, but really video gamey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like you get all the traditionalness of Japan, you get all the vibes of samurai, you get all the vibes of being a ninja, you get all the vibes of everything without anything being drawn out, without dragging, without grinding, without anything. You get just pure fun gameplay the whole time.
Yeah, look,
it's amazing.
honestly, as someone who, like, I've done martial arts for over 10 years. I've traveled to Japan to do martial arts. And, like, I only bring this up because...
Every episode.
I bring this up because... That's racist. I bring this up because it is very ingrained into the martial arts about respect and culture and whatnot. And that's what you have to learn about. This game is very truthful to that Budo spirit, to that whole philosophy of spirit first, and the fact that the conflict between Jin with the assassination side of way and the big honorable way of standing true to your opponents. It's beautifully done.
I agree. I've watched Karate Kid at least 50 times, so I figure I'm up there with you on the knowledge of the culture.
But there will be people that won't like this game, and that's fair enough. Like, you might not be into samurais, and that's fine. Or Japan, or
If they like Vikings,
ninjas,
then
or-
you got another one coming.
I mean,
up
there
later.
are things in it that clearly aren't based in reality. They're like,
Your dad being the wind.
yeah,
No,
stuff
that
like
happened.
there's stuff
Like, your
like
dad isn't the wind.
there's stuff like
My
yeah,
dad
there's
banks on a wind, but
there's lots of like religious aspects in it which I just don't believe in. So I just see it as the chat says, fantasy.
Yeah.
Like,
They kept away from too much supernatural stuff.
I mean,
though.
no, they're not, but there is like, I mean, the wind guides you. Foxes tell you where stuff is. Birds say to go this way. That's not
religion,
reality.
That's called LSD, man.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
It's
not
called
doing.
it's
they're not doing
Toontown, mate.
The Assassin's Creed, like, oh, you stumbled upon a massive mythical being. Like,
Do they do that in
haven't-
Assassin's Creed?
Assassin's Creed, yeah, you fight like the Minotaur and a big
Only in
Medusa?
Odyssey. Only in
Yeah.
Odyssey.
yeah. In the most recent two, you fight.
Yeah, but then the other
mythical-
Assassin's Creed is just like, here is a building. Here's 40 pages of boring text about it, of real life text. This building was made of a mud.
Actually, I find that stuff kind of
I
really.
really
Yeah,
like
I
it.
know a lot of people
Yeah,
do. I
yeah.
just don't.
I
I
like
just
it.
don't.
It was good.
Reading for chumps.
Okay.
Says the man that owns the bookstore.
Just look at the pictures, mate.
Just look at the big. Oh, that's why it's comics. That's right.
Floppy, what have you been playing?
I have been playing Destroy All Humans. This little guy. So I've been really on a kick this year for games that were
Bad?
No, man. Just stuff that was a little bit
Bad.
tongue in cheek, a little bit. Well,
You got Man- you like Man-Eater.
I got
That game
Man-Eater.
was
I got
good.
this. The games that didn't take themselves too seriously. So this is a rebuild of the 2005 like cult classic Destroy All Humans, and then it had a sequel.
This
as well.
game was
PS2 games.
wicked, and if they,
The storytelling is hilarious. They have redone all the graphics. They've redone all the cutscenes. They've it's so good. They've upped the gameplay, and they got all the original voice actors back in. To
so they
record all the cutscenes.
redid the voices.
Yeah, they
Are you sure? I thought they
No,
just
they same
lifted it.
script.
Because they got what's his name from Invader Zim to
Yeah,
do
same
the
guy.
head guy.
He was the one from the start.
Right, so they did redub them. I thought it
Yeah.
was just lifted from the
So
old game.
from when unless I read about it wrong, but I figure that they've kept the script
You
the
need
some,
some
but they read.
pictures in that
Yeah,
manual.
probably need to go get
Yeah.
a book about it from
Yeah.
Dan Shop.
Yeah.
Nah.
So in this game, if you haven't played Destroy All Humans before, you play Crypto 137, I think it was. He's an alien from the race called the Furons. Now, they've used atomic power for a long time, and it's affected them. They no longer have genitals.
That's
So-
the major plot point.
It is one of the major plot points.
Story of my life.
no.
So they have to reproduce via cloning. They've cloned themselves so much that they've degraded all their DNA. So now you have to go to Earth to try and find a strand of DNA because at some point in the past...
No
Reason.
spoilers, Floppy.
No, this is all in the
No,
first
no
5
spoilers from a game that's 15 years old, please, Floppy.
Okay. One of your scouts from the Furon race went to Earth and had a good fun time, and now all humans have a perfect strand of DNA of Furon in them somewhere. So it's all based in the 1950s, so it really plays on the whole 1950s aliens and communism fear, and then all the
Humans
humor
are
is
idiots.
Oh,
eh? They're so funny. Like
it is hilarious. The humor in it is hilarious.
wicked.
It's in a town called Rockwell, very similar to, I don't know, Roswell.
Yeah.
And there's lots of jokes around that, around, the actual stories of what's apparently happened and things like that. Look at these guys. What a chump. Yeah, so you get little...
Insult the audience.
Yeah. And you actually have to pick the right one to be able to get through that little scene. You've cloned the mayor. It's one of your abilities, is you can hologram yourself to look like people around you.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you can play the missions heaps of different weird ways and
can.
stuff. Like, it's just a really fun game.
But it's
Like,
got a mix of run in, shoot 'em up, destroy everything, and stealth missions, which is really weird because they're polar opposite ways of doing it.
and if you want, you can just pull your
Communists, yeah.
ship, get into your ship, and just turn into a destruction
Yeah.
city like that thing.
So you can play it on foot, where you have a Zap-O-Matic, I think it was called, which is your little electricity gun. You have a disintegrator ray. There's a bomb that I haven't unlocked yet. You can mind read people, so you can literally walk around and just read everyone's minds and hear their inner thoughts, which is hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
I think they've gone more to town on that than the other one. They probably put more deeper
I think
dialogue.
there's more people. It's more populated than it was before.
Yeah, it looks it.
Yeah, it is great. So you get the third-person action. You get some stealth in there. You can jump in your ship and just go around and destroy everything. You've got weapons that you can use. You've got abilities like you pop their heads and take their brains out.
It's got some violence in it.
It
eh?
has got some violence, but it's not really. It's not super graphic.
And you've got a funny voice. Like,
You got a heaps funny voice.
you got a voice that you wouldn't think he'd have, that kind of thing.
You can upgrade all your weapons so that you can, the electricity goes through multiple people or whoever's near each other. You can do your hologram thing so you can dress up. That's how you do your stealth missions.
Yep.
There was one other thing that I was going to jump on. What was it? Oh, you have telekinetic powers. So one of the coolest things I like doing is when you get like 6 people running at you, you quickly grab them and throw them up in the air, and then you stand there and it rains people down around you and they just die as they hit the ground. It is fantastic. Yeah, look, it's really fun. It is great tongue-in-cheek humor. It really plays on the tropes of the 1950s sci-fi, alien, communism, fears that there was around the place back then.
And it's got a grey in it. I love greys.
Yeah, cool voice acting, cool upgrades to your weapons, to your saucer. It's a hell of a lot of fun.
Nice.
Now, Braden, you wanted to quickly talk about a little game that you picked up.
Yeah, so I wanted to quickly jump in because Michaela and I, we have been absolutely binging through Paper Mario The Origami King. My God, we love this game so much. It is absolutely adorable. It looks great. I'm about to pull up footage here. It's
Good.
loading.
We're just vamping.
There we
While you
go.
talk.
There's our little man.
I was being an origami thing and folding myself.
Vaping.
I swear to God, this game is so good. The comedy in it is choice. These little so the toads are hidden absolutely everywhere. They are hidden as little origami objects. They can be slipped behind things. They're like stuck to walls and stuff. There's heaps of stuff. The combat in it is great. It uses this little like wave mechanic. Like it kind of feels like it turns into a strategy game basically. And you have to spin them around to get them in the right way, and you get all these different items and weapons and stuff. You've got Olivia, who's your little friend who joins you along, and then you get like tagged along with like a bob-omb and stuff. And I cannot comprehend how good the comedy is. Like every bit of dialogue is great. And this is still early on in the game, so it's quite like...
Is this the battle?
Yeah, so this is the battle mechanic. So you spin it all around, get them in like either a little group of 4 or in a big long line. And then you can go along, you either bounce on them or hit them with a hammer.
Gotta say, this is why I decided not to pick
It
up this
takes
game.
up a specific like areas for each attack, doesn't it?
Yes. Yeah, so for each of these, so
Just
your
wait
boots,
beside
you
it,
go
yes.
along and jump along them. Your hammer, you hit like a smaller...
It's basically a turn-based RPG.
Yeah,
Well,
so,
Paper Mario always has been.
Yeah.
yeah, the combat sticks with that, and it's honestly, like, it actually, some of it gets really freaking hard. Like, there's been quite a few situations where I've just been like, I have no clue how to get these people in the right order. So it's actually quite tough sometimes. It's absolutely adorable all the time. And then, yeah, I cannot even start on how good the dialogue and the written speech and everything is, because it's so funny.
It's like the world map when you're moving around. Is it kind of like, is it like Galaxy or whatever, or is it 2D, 3D?
I will show you a little clip here.
You know, when you're just walking around the world and jumping and...
So it's like this. So you get to go around, you roam around these big, like, you're following each of these big streamers everywhere. And you go and you're finding toads as your little collectibles, and then they hang out and watch the combat happen. All the little things in there are just so much fun.
the more toads you see, the more in the bleachers.
Yeah, so the bleachers, like for me at the moment, the bleachers are starting to get absolutely packed, and it's just
that's
hilarious. And they all like cheer you on and stuff. You see in the little archway there that there's a little hidden toad.
Is that a scrunched up one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the bad guy is this origami king who is like, he just wants to make everything origami, and he hates the 2D world, and they play on heaps of really dumb jokes about like all the different types of paper and everything. It's a great time.
What about the game-breaking bug that's in there?
Ooh, I haven't heard of that. What's
Yeah,
that?
the way you can't finish it.
Yeah, there's a game-breaking bug in there that they're trying to patch out now. So
Ooh.
hope you don't fall into that one.
Have you
Fingers
talked
crossed.
about
I don't-
the thousand-fold arms?
The 1,000-fold arms are actually pretty fun. So you get these little moments where you can use your big crazy arms. I'll see if I can find a quick clip while we're here. But yeah, Olivia gives you these like slight origami powers, and you get to go through and like interact with the world in this weird way. I'm just finding there's a dance number. It's very random. But yeah, this is like it's great fun. It's very silly. And it likes just pointing out how absolutely silly and ridiculous.
I like games that are made out of a certain thing. Like there's that yarn game,
Yeah.
Yoshi's Woolly World.
Woolly World, but there's that
No,
like,
the-
string one, the
Unravel.
Unraveled. There's this one with the paper. I like it when there's an element which is like the main thing they
Theme.
use. Like it's
Yeah.
kind of just a cool idea that I've always
and
liked.
they absolutely go to town on that as a theme. Like one of the big bad guys that we've faced so far is a case of pencils. And the pencils fire out of it like rockets. Honestly, like it's definitely worth a pickup if you're just after like a little like light RPG you can just have a laugh at.
It's not like Nintendo's got anything else coming out.
Exactly right. So you'll probably end up paying it this year anyway.
Anyway, that's what we've been playing this week on Hack the Dino, reviewing the games. We've been Hack the Dino, and this has been our critical path and video game news. We like to talk about things, but this isn't the only thing that we do. We have side projects as well as this. Dan, what's one of your side projects?
One of my side projects is TerraVision Horror Podcast. You can check us out on all major podcasting services, where me and Jennifer, the Dream Warrior Strand, get together and talk about horror films. This is an audio podcast. We also have it's on YouTube, but it's just an audio podcast. So go over to YouTube, if you like it, give us a follow, give us a like, give us a star, give us a comment, go on to the other things, do all those things. We really appreciate it. We've just started up. We're up to episode 12. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's good.
It's awesome. Floppy.
You can come over to Instagram, check out Floppy Plays Games, where you can look at the stuff that I spend all my money on and then take photos of and then show you, and then sometimes try and find time to play them as well.
And Millennial Falcon, what have you got?
Millennial movie talk. Millennial movie talk, not just one millennial. There's four of us, but it's a movie podcast.
Hey, stuffing up your lines is my gig, all right? Don't go...
I can tread on some feet. It's fine. Millennial Movie Talk. It's a movie podcast. We talk about the movie news, what we've been watching lately, give some reviews on some stuff, and you get a bit of banter between me and my friends.
And you can also head on over to Retro Trigger Podcast, where you can hear me talking to people and interviewing people about all things retro. We've spoken about Transformers Gen 1 with Sean Fuster. We've spoken about Super Nintendo with this dude. We've talked about Dragon Ball Z with that guy. Coming up next Friday, or actually, no, it'll be yesterday, so it's out now. You can hear me talk to Dean Rankin, who is the illustrator for some of the Simpsons comics.
Oh, I'm looking forward to listening.
He's also done some Futurama. He's also done some Rick and Morty. Morty. So that's really, really cool. We talk about Simpsons Season 5, which is scientifically proven to be the best season of The Simpsons.
Is that the Bear Baron one?
No. That's not in that
Are you
season.
sure?
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure it is.
What's the best episode for that season?
Is the Scorpio one in it?
Monorail.
Oh, done. Yep.
Yeah. We are also, who have we spoken to? We've spoken to Ben from Toy Power Podcast. He spoke about He-Man, and we've spoken about Nintendo 64 with Mr. A-Game. They're coming up. It's a monthly podcast, so there's only about 3 episodes up now. But make sure you search Retro Trigger Podcast. You can get it through this feed if you press subscribe to the podcast feed here at Hack the Dino, or search it to get the other feed, which I'm just trying out because it's for reasons you don't need to know. Why are you bugging me, man? Back off. Anyway, if you like this, you can also become a Patreon. Dan, do you have some Patreons you would like to thank?
Well, I would love to do that. So thank you to our beautiful top tier Patreons, where you get mentioned at everything we do. So thank you to Sam Beard, thank you to Todd Randall, thank you to Tommaso, thank you to Mike Tower, thank you to Karen Knight, thank you to Aaron Knight, thank you to Dylan Stevens, and thank you to Cullen Budd. You guys are our buds.
Top peers.
Top buds.
Top the
buds.
best. You're the number one buds. You're that great bud. No, that
I thought we were going
skanky
to call you guys Dino Buds.
buds. No, they're Dino Riders.
The Dino Pals.
You can
The
ride
Dino
us.
Riders is
Dino
pretty good.
Sources?
They're Dino Riders.
Dinosaur.
Doesn't matter.
Dino
Keep going.
Shut up, Floppy. It's
Dino-
Dino Riders.
Dino.
Kill his mic.
Di-
Anyway, you can also see us on youtube.com/hackthedino, where you can subscribe and you can shower us with likes with these things. Be sure to do that. When this goes up, be sure to tell your friends and get them to come over and subscribe as well, because that's how we grow. We're over 100 episodes in now. We'd really like to grow more and get more people to watch our content and hopefully enjoy the entertainment that we put out there. And lastly, be sure to subscribe to us over on iTunes, other podcast things. I don't know.
But
It's been
also,
long.
If you like to watch us live, head over to Twitch and YouTube, where we do a live show every second Friday, and you can join in the chat and join in, talk to us, and stuff like that, which you don't get in these VODs that you're watching now.
Boobs.